So if you've been paying attention for any length of time, you noticed that up until the election, the silver price had been moving up pretty aggressively, silver and gold both. And it seems now that the election is over, silver has continued to trend downward. It's gone back up a little bit here and there, but overall it's on its way down. And it went from over $34 an ounce till today. It's sitting right around $30 an ounce. So with silver price dropping over the last couple of weeks and no end in sight that we can see right now, is it still worth buying silver while it's dropping, or should you wait till it's finished dropping? Well, we're going to get into that today, so stick around. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Silver Augustine. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. As always, I do appreciate it. I hope you're able to watch until the end, help me with my watch time, hopefully help the channel get monetized here within the next few months or year or so. If you do like the content in this video, I would suggest you go watch some of my other videos, and if you could, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Without any further ado, let's get into it. So as I stated during my intro, the silver price had been moving up pretty significantly over the last few months leading up to the election. Back in October, silver closed as high as $34.46 an ounce, and today, November the 25th, silver closed at $30.44. That's down over $4. That's down nearly 12% in just a few weeks. Silver had not closed as low as it did today since September. So it's been a couple months it's been moving up, and it moved up pretty high. $34 is the highest it's been in well over a decade. The last time silver closed over $34 was in November of 2012, if that gives you any idea for reference. So basically, there's a lot of people giving their opinions or their predictions on where silver is going to go from here, whether it's going to go up, whether it's going to go down. A lot of people are predicting that they think it is going to go back up because they're expecting the Fed to cut rates a couple more times here in the next few months, and that's absolutely possible. Obviously, there's going to be a new president in the office in January. So many things to potentially move the silver price up, but there's also so much volatility right now geopolitically that the silver price could continue to drop, and honestly, nobody knows for sure. Everyone seems to hope that it goes up. If you're a stacker and you've been stacking for a long time, you see the benefit in the price of silver going down. So we're going to talk about that right now. If silver price is moving downward, you can look at it either as, hey, the price is cheaper today than it was yesterday, or cheaper than it was last week. I'm going to go ahead and buy because at any time it could turn around and move back up. Or if maybe you don't have a whole lot of money and you don't have a financial situation that allows you to just go buy silver every time there's a dip. Maybe you're sitting here watching it having dropped over $4, and you're one of those people that says, oh, I'm waiting for $25, $26 silver again. That's not absolutely out of the realm of possibility the way that it's been moving down the last few weeks. However, I would caution you not to miss out on an opportunity that you would end up regretting. Most people that have been doing this for a while will tell you that it's a good idea to just try to buy every week or every other week, or once a month, or find a schedule that you can buy consistently, and regardless of the price of silver, go purchase. And when you play the long game, which is what you're supposed to do with precious metals, play the long game, and over time, your dollar cost average will work out in your favor more often than not. Trying to time the market can be risky, and that's just a matter of fact. I think that's a pretty well-known matter of fact. I'm not out here trying to give some crazy financial advice that is just my own opinion of something that I made up. This is pretty standard information to people that have been doing this. If you're new to silver stacking, then maybe you might look at the price and say, hey, I don't want to buy in something that's dropping like a rock. Well, at the same time, if you turn around and you buy when it's dropping, and then it begins to move up when the Fed cuts rates again, if they do, and if the new president turns things around, and that can be bad for silver. It could also be good for silver, depending on what the economy does, how it reacts, what continues to go on in the world, the wars overseas. There's so much going on right now, aside from just the U.S., that is going to affect the price of silver. So There's no way for you to have a crystal ball and know what the market is going to do. But if it's something that you can afford at the time and you do have the money for it and it's something that you want to do, then go for it. I wouldn't encourage you to spend a lot of money in precious metals if you don't know anything about it or if you haven't figured out what your specific motivation is for stacking. It's very important that you know why you stack and that you're planning on playing the long game. You're not going to be able to buy silver today and turn around tomorrow and sell it for profit. But a lot of people that buy silver don't buy it to turn around and sell it. They're planning on hanging on to it over the long run. If you're planning on hanging on to it for the long run, then you almost never will go wrong buying as long as you're willing to hold. If you don't have the financial resources to withstand some kind of emergency coming up, whether your car breaks down or a tree falls on your roof, if you don't have any extra cash and fiat currency to cover expenses like that, then I would say don't put your money into silver right now. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. This one specifically is while the price is dropping. So if you look at it as an investment opportunity, and investment can mean several different things. Obviously, silver is not used as an investment as much as, say, the stock market. But if you are wanting something to hold for the long haul, buying silver at $30 an ounce could prove in the long run to be a very good investment. It could treat you very well. Silver could drop below that, but it's only a matter of time before it goes back up. And that's just historically factual the way that it's worked. Silver's not going to drop down to be completely worthless and just stay like that indefinitely. At some point, silver will turn around, and with inflation, which is pretty much inevitable, the US dollar is going to continue to get weaker over time, even if it's a little bit slowly. Over time, the dollar will get weaker and silver and gold will get stronger. That's just the way that it works. It goes up and down, it fluctuates back and forth, but that's generally the way that it's going to go. So when it comes right down to it, if you were planning on buying silver when it hits $29 an ounce, or if you were planning on waiting for it to drop even further than that, I would suggest you go ahead and take advantage of the $4 price drop in just the last few weeks. There's no telling when it's going to turn around and go back up, and it's already shattered the $30 and the $32.50 window, the glass ceiling. It busted through that and it went up over 34, and it was holding steady for a little while. So it absolutely has the right conditions to hold and get back up to that price range again. It's just a matter of time. So it may not be tomorrow. It may not be next month. It may be next year. It may be 2 or 3 or 4 or even longer after that. So like I said, if you're planning on holding, if this is the long game that you're playing, you will not go wrong buying at $30 an ounce. I am not a financial advisor. None of this should be taken as financial advice. This is what I do. This is what people that I know that stack do. If there's a $4 price drop, if it drops nearly 12%, then it only makes sense to go buy. If you are not willing to buy at $30, I would say don't wait for it to drop to 25 and don't buy then, because this is not the game for you. You do not need to be investing in silver and gold if your mindset is to wait until it's as cheap as possible, because your motivations are a little bit different than what they probably should be if you're putting your wealth into precious metals. I would say for you, maybe go check out the stock market or some other type of investing or saving. But silver and gold, if you're into precious metals and there is a dip this big in just a couple of weeks, you take advantage of it. So don't let the price dropping scare you. The further it drops, the more nervous I am that it's going to turn around and go back up. So when it drops, that's when you go in and you buy. And then when the price spikes and a bunch of new people are getting excited and getting on board, that's when you hold. Or if you're on a budget and you can spend a certain amount of money every week or every other week or every month, then you go in and you buy and you dollar cost average over time. I always hear people say this on YouTube, especially other silver stacking channels with guys that have been stacking longer than me, have more stacking experience than me, have more silver than me. They always say that one day you're going to look back and you're going to realize, wow, $30 silver was so cheap, because the dollar will have either become so inflated that it's hard to afford just a regular ounce of silver, or maybe the conditions have just changed and silver is just now crazy booming, and maybe it's caught up historically to its rate of inflation and to where it should be comfortably compared to gold with the silver gold ratio. There's so much in silver and in gold, it's really hard for you to try to outsmart it, because from day to day there's no telling what's going to happen. So many things out of your control, so much manipulation in the market, so many things going on around the world, things that you're not even educated on that have a big impact on silver and gold. So if you believe in silver and you think that it has a future, which I absolutely do, and I think if anybody studies it and researches it, then there's absolutely no doubt whatsoever that silver has a future, and it has a very bright future. It still has a long way to go up before it reaches its historical height, especially when you factor in inflation. It's got a ways to go. So I have faith in silver, and I think that buying silver at $30 an ounce is only going to prove to be a good investment for me personally. And if you choose to do it, I'm sure you won't be disappointed if you're willing to hold for the long run. You only lose when you sell, and you sell below what you bought it for. You never really lose money if you hang on to it until it goes back up, because it will go back up. Anybody that's been stacking for any length of time will tell you that at some point it will go back up. My advice would be only to spend money that you can comfortably let go of and not have back for a while. I wouldn't consider it losing that money, because I do believe that you will get it back. Or if you're planning on hanging on to that silver forever, then you can pass it down to your future generations, and it will have not been in vain. That being said, I hope that I have made my position very clear. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, if you disagree with anything that I said, put it down in the comments. I will address it. I am not always 100% right, so I'm wide open to suggestion and comment. If you enjoyed the video, please comment below. Give some interaction to the video. I much appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, you have a good day, and I do appreciate you supporting my channel.